Welcome back to Simply Styled Home. Today we're chatting about something that might remind you of a cozy afternoon spent at a family picnic or a charming countryside inn: gingham and checks. These patterns have a timeless way of bringing a sense of warmth and simplicity into a home. But the way they can fit into different styles might surprise you. So let's get comfortable, and I'll share a few thoughts on how you can use these classic patterns in your own spaces. But before we get into all the lovely details, I'd be ever so grateful if you could hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us reach more people who share our love for home design. You know, when I think of gingham, I think of those small touches that make a room feel lived in and welcoming. Whether it's a pair of throw pillows, a simple tablecloth, or even curtains with that classic checkered design, these patterns have a way of feeling both nostalgic and fresh. They can remind us of simpler times while still adding a sense of style to a modern room. And while they have that traditional charm, don't be afraid to mix them into more elegant spaces, like a touch of gingham in a formal dining room or a checkered throw draped over a velvet armchair. One thing I've learned over the years is that gingham and checks don't always have to be the star of the show. Sometimes they're best when they're just part of the backdrop, adding a bit of texture and pattern without overpowering the room. Imagine a white, slip-covered sofa with a soft blue gingham pillow. It's not flashy, but it has a quiet way of bringing the whole space together. Almost like it's whispering a gentle hello as you walk in. Little touches like this can make a room feel layered and interesting without needing to be bold. And if you're wondering about mixing patterns, here's a little thought. Gingham can play well with florals or stripes, especially if you stick to a similar color palette. A pale blue gingham cushion against a floral armchair, for example, can create a charming balance. It's about finding that sweet spot where the patterns complement each other, creating a sense of harmony rather than competition. One of my favorite ways to use gingham is in the kitchen. There's just something about a gingham valance over the sink or a checkered tea towel that feels so welcoming when you're pouring your morning coffee. It's a small touch that makes you smile, and it's those little things that make a space feel like home, isn't it? At the end of the day, remember, decorating with gingham and checks isn't about creating a perfect look. It's about making a space that feels right for you. Sometimes that means adding a bit of pattern to brighten up a corner or layering it with other textures to create a cozy, inviting feel. It's always about what makes you feel at home. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this chat about adding a touch of gingham and checks to your home has brought a bit of inspiration or warmth to your day, I'd be so grateful if you'd give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'd truly love to hear from you. Share your own thoughts on using these classic patterns in the comments. It's always such a joy to read your thoughts and connect with you. Always remember, decorating doesn't have to be complicated, it just needs to be simply styled.